Welcome to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast, where we help you embrace the most courageous version of yourself. My name is Marie, and I'm an adventure seeker who is obsessed with following the joy and creating more freedom. If you're eager for deep conversations, big questions, and meaningful connection, join me on the quest to discovering how we can live a more magical and memorable life. Hello nerds, how are you? I'm doing good, thank you for asking. Last weekend was Easter weekend, and I went to spend 2 nights and 3 days in a hotel 3 kilometers from my house, a me-time staycation. It was amazing. I used this time to dream about the future, but also to look at how I get in my own way. What are the things I think or say or do that slow me down and are time to let go of? Like a much needed spring cleaning of the mind. Have you done yours yet? Because I've been having lots of conversations with you, either via email or in the Instagram DMs. And while I must say you have amazing creative ideas and incredible potential, I keep seeing you fall in the same traps again and again. There are things you say to me that highlight errors in your thinking that slow down your progress without you even realizing it. And I'm not pointing fingers at you, I also do it too. We're all guilty of the same behaviors that slow down the progress that we could be making. So, I've made a list of the things we need to stop saying once and for all. And today I'm going to start with the top 2. And if you like this kind of episode, then I can record them again and tell you more. So number 1 is I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I don't know where to start. I don't know if I can. I don't know what I want. What all of these variations of I don't know do is put the emphasis of the absence of an answer. The answer you're looking for is going to come to you eventually. It is somewhere in the universe or in the depth of your being. But repeating to yourself and those around you that you don't know is the perfect way not to find the answer. It's as if you're in the woods thinking about how lost you are instead of actively looking for the trail. The words I don't know kind of act as a closed shop sign. I don't know also comes up in conversations and is often a dead end to what could be an otherwise profound exchange. Why is this important to you? I don't know. What do you love most about this? I don't know. What are you afraid of? I don't know. Sometimes our brain throws out an I don't know to a tough question because it's scared to go down a certain inner path. So I don't know can be a huge inhibitor of personal growth. Instead, you can try, let's see, what could it be? Perhaps it's, or you can try a good question. Let me think about this. And we also all do this thing where we need to make a decision between A and B, and we have all the data in our head that we just keep looking at over and over again, considering all its different angles while we stare at the ceiling above our bed, reviewing the pros and cons for the 100th time, not knowing what to do. Often what we need is new information, but we cannot get new information by staring at the ceiling, right? Clarity doesn't come from incessant thought. It comes from action and time. You know, it's time to stop overthinking when the landscape in your mind has been the same for a while. Time to start taking action. Sometimes the action doesn't even need to be related to what you're focusing on. It can be completely irrelevant, like taking a shower, for example. How often have you had a light bulb moment coming to you out of the blue while you're washing your armpits? Sometimes action means just choosing a side and experimenting what it's like. Just pick one and commit to it. When I was in London, I spent countless hours thinking about whether I should settle there with my partner and open up a proper coffee shop, because we had a coffee truck at the time, or leave everything behind to come home to Canada and build a life here instead. Huge decision, right? I was making myself mad going over and over those two options. It was the first thing I thought about most mornings. It was on my mind constantly. I kept saying, I just don't know what to do. Until I spoke with my wise aunt, who said to me, the answer is in you and it will come up when it's ready. Just listen. Such a relief. The answer is in me, which means I don't need to obsessively look for it. And it will come up when it's ready. I just need to listen. This last part is important because often the answer of our heart will rise up to the surface, and instead of listening, we will instantly push it back down. I had a moment of clarity once while I was washing the dishes, a calm inner knowing that said, it's time to leave. I turned around to my partner and said, I need to go home. I was peaceful. Until the brain unleashed its army and the thoughts came rushing in. You can't do this. He's such a good person. Look at what you're leaving behind. You are so close to your goal. I pushed the answer back into the confines of my soul and picked a side. I proclaimed, I'm staying here. I'm going to try to make a life here. Let's apply for a loan at the bank, go visit a commercial space for a coffee shop, fill in all the paperwork. I committed. I experimented what permanent life in London would look like, until the answer had the space to come up again, and I finally found the courage to listen. Imagine you're in a forest, your face 1 inch away from a huge sequoia, and you keep saying, where is the damn sequoia? All I see is brown bark. They said there was a sequoia in this forest, but I cannot see it. This is what happens when we keep saying, I don't know. Sometimes we need to step back, walk around, look somewhere else, let go. The answer is in us or in the world somewhere. But we must trust that it will come. Open ourselves up. Make space for it in your home. Tell the universe, I'm ready for the answer when you are. I'm all ears. Take your time. I'm here. Let me know when you're ready. And just before we move on to the next thing you need to stop saying, I want to mention the exception to the rule. I think it's humble and much more useful to say you don't know when someone is looking for an answer to a specific question like, how do you do open heart surgery? Then please say you don't know instead of making something up to appear knowledgeable or to please your ego. All right, the next thing I wish we would all stop saying is, it's unrealistic. Do you know what Will Smith thinks about this? Will Smith said, being realistic is the most commonly traveled path to mediocrity. And I couldn't agree more. It's also the path to safety. And that's why it's so tempting. By trying to be realistic, you make sure that your project stays small and the risks of failure stay low. The Irish stand-up comedian Dylan Moran said that people will kill you over time, and how they'll kill you is with tiny, harmless phrases like be realistic. It does sound harmless, like you're just trying to protect the other person. But protect them from what? Embarrassment if it doesn't work out? What if the end result is not what matters? Let me give you an example. Your friend says to you, I'm going to make $1 million in a month. Right. You could just shut them down by telling them that it's unrealistic. Or you can trust that this belief will give them the energy to achieve things they would never have achieved otherwise. Then who cares if they get to $1 million? Best case scenario, they think you're so supportive and they invite you to spend a week with them on their brand new yacht. Or perhaps you tell them they're being unrealistic because you don't want them to burn out trying to achieve the impossible. So noble of you. But is it the best way to show that you care about their well-being? Or would it be more appropriate to ask open-ended questions and see what their plan is? And I say open-ended because we tend to ask questions with judgment in our voice. $1 million? Pfft, how are you going to do that? The other person gets defensive and it closes the conversation. It puts a thin layer of coldness between you and the other person who feels dismissed. Listen to what it sounds like when you replace judgment by curiosity and use exactly the same words. $1 million? Wow, how are you going to do that? Well, what I'm going to do is this. And then I've thought about that, and maybe a bit of the other person lights up and it opens the conversation. You get to connect. The other person feels seen and accepted. And again, who cares if their project works out or not? If you're truly concerned on the impact that their dream could have on their life or the lives of others around them, bring it up with curiosity. What about your family? I thought you wanted to spend more time with them instead of judgment. What about your family? You told me you wanted to spend more time with them. See the difference? And we gotta relearn how to dream because we forgot. We were so good as kids, unstoppable and full of imagination. And then we were told from a very young age that we had to choose a career path. Make sure it's one that makes sense with your skills and also, if possible, a path where you can make decent money. We're not asked the powerful questions that would empower us to get to know ourselves deeply so that we can make a decision based on what truly matters to us. We're told about the jobs that already exist and asked to choose in that catalog. But in this day and age, it's been increasingly possible to invent our own job, to find a problem that needs to be fixed or something that demands to be improved, and to go to work creating a solution. I had the privilege to be raised by a visionary dad and a highly driven, independent mom that overcame many of their own limitations and proved to themselves that they could do hard things, that they could fail and stand up again and fail and stand up again until they achieved their goals. My parents are some of the happiest people I know. They have a strong relationship, they have friends and hobbies and projects, they have the freedom to do whatever they want to do, and they didn't achieve this lifestyle by being quote-unquote realistic. They achieved it by aiming high and giving themselves the permission to dream bigger than anyone else around them. Growing up with them was a privilege because they taught me how to dream and go after my own freedom. And I realize now that many people haven't had that chance, and it's my responsibility to teach this skill. The skill of believing in possibilities and the skill of looking at the future, conjuring up something you find exciting, and then getting to work making it happen. So, never tell yourself that your dream is unrealistic. You are closing a door on what could be. You're afraid, and it's okay. Fear is a sign that you're going in the right direction, that you're trying something new, that you're being brave and bold. Never listen to someone else who tells you that your dream is unrealistic. They are afraid, and their fear doesn't belong to you. It's their responsibility, their weight to carry. And notice that people who will discourage you are never the kind of people who achieve big things, because the dreamers are busy building their dreams. Only those who sit on the outskirts of the arena have time to criticize those who are getting dirty inside the arena. Remember this. If you're the kind of person who's in the arena or wants to enter the arena but you feel scared about all the risks, join me in Brave and Bold, my 6-month coaching journey where we overcome our fears of dreaming big, gain more clarity on who we are and where we want to go, and grow the confidence to move forward no matter what obstacles we might face, no matter what the naysayers think, no matter how unrealistic they believe we are being. Screw them. We are the dreamers, the visionaries, those who have the courage to change the world bit by bit. I'm an optimist, a challenger, a lover of depth and adventure. I want to feel light and free and alive. And I want to be surrounded by people who want the same things. So DM me on Instagram at selfgrowthnerds if this resonates with you and you think you can move forward faster if you had the support of a coach and a group of like-minded people who push each other and do not accept "I don't know" or "it's unrealistic" as an answer. Okay, I'm done for today, but I will make more of these episodes because there's so many other things I hear that get in the way of growth and that I want us to stop saying. These include, but are not limited to, "I can't afford it." "It's not the right time." I'm not good enough. I should do this. You shouldn't do that. I'm sorry, but everyone's doing it already. I'm an under-earner. And they go on and on. The words you use are important. They are a representation of your current thoughts, and your current thoughts dictate your future. Think about this, and try to observe how you express yourself and the reality that your words create around you. All right? I'll see you next week. You just listened to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. I hope you enjoyed. We publish an episode every Monday, so make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified. I want to thank my friend Etienne Garano for editing this, and I want to thank you, kind-hearted souls, for doing the inner work necessary to grow into your truest self and make the world a better, more beautiful place. My name is Marie, and I will talk to you next week.